So, good afternoon, dear DPI enthusiasts, distinguished guests. Welcome to our panel, DPI in Action, Real-World Implementation Use Cases by Countries. So my name is Andrea Donat, and I am GIZ Program Lead of the GovStack initiative. We will officially start this panel with opening remarks. Please welcome Mr. Holger Illy on stage. He is the Head of Development Cooperation of the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany in Cairo. May I please ask you, Mr. Illy, to formally start the panel for us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and distinguished panelists, it's a great honor and a great pleasure for me to open this session on DPI in Action Real-World Country Implementation Use Cases here at the first ever DPI Summit 2024 on behalf of the German Embassy here in Cairo and on behalf of the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. I would like to start by acknowledging just how far this community has come since it embarked on its journey. Digital public infrastructure today is a topic on all global agendas, and this very global DPI summit itself marks just how far we have all come. And what we see here is the beginning of a truly new era for digital transformation. As over the past few years, DPI has gained recognition as the necessary foundation for building robust digital governments. Ladies and gentlemen, the DPI ecosystem is broad, and there are different approaches to take, a variety of products to choose from. This does give governments a choice on which route to take, but at the same time, the result is also a complex field to navigate. And here, frameworks can give a structure without being too rigid. The building block approach that GovStack represents has increasingly gained recognition as the framework for modern and flexible architectures. This approach allows to break down complex systems into manageable components that can then be combined and adapted to different contexts. The growing global adoption of GovStack is a proof of its power to shape efficient and scalable digital infrastructures. But this is still only the beginning of this journey. The building block approach has a lot of potential, particularly for new and emerging players. GovStack's approach is product agnostic, and that allows for flexibility, which product to choose, and even allows for replacement if circumstances change, and they usually do. There are 3 points which I would like to highlight that make this approach stand out. First, this approach creates business opportunities, especially for young companies and for startups, by creating open, interoperable systems. We are opening up this future market to these young companies. And digital public infrastructure is not just for established companies. It provides opportunities for innovation, entrepreneurship, and growth for participants in local markets who can plug into an open shared infrastructure. Secondly, this approach also increases sovereignty for governments. With more flexible and transparent systems, governments and institutions have a better grasp of their digital ecosystems, and they are no longer dependent on closed proprietary systems, but can tailor solutions to meet their own needs while fostering local innovation. And third, and this is not to be underestimated, GovStack provides a joint narrative and a joint language for creating digital public infrastructure. This is important because it enables ambitious policymakers and institutions around the globe to work together, to exchange experiences, and to work jointly towards joint and shared goals. And this following session is part of this exchange on experiences and contributes to the joint learning process. And I'm looking forward to see how digital public infrastructure is being implemented across very different regions, each with its very own unique set of challenges and successes. And through the lens of our esteemed panelists' experiences, we will explore how digital public infrastructure and digital public goods are creating new opportunities for innovation, for economic growth and digital sovereignty, while at the same time promoting the necessary frameworks and standards. I wish us all a very interesting, fruitful, and inspiring session to follow, as much as a very inspiring time at the rest of this conference. Thank you very much.
So still practicing if it comes to the slides. So, I have the great pleasure to co-moderate this panel today with one of the most experienced experts in the field of digital transformation, Mr. Andrew Rogage. Please, Andrew, join me on stage. So Andrew served for 10 years as the ITU Regional Director for Africa and representative to the African Union. In his function, he oversaw the introduction of GovStack in Africa. Dear audience, what can you expect now in the next hour? Our session will feature live demonstrations of real-world use cases from Egypt, Somalia, Rwanda, and Kazakhstan. Our dear panelists will take us on a journey and showcase their experiences and best practices in digital transformation. I would now like to ask all panelists to join us on stage. So welcome on stage, dear panelists. We will start this journey with our host country and pioneer in adopting the building block approach, Egypt.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you. First of all, grateful thanks to Egypt for hosting us here today. We would like to give them the opportunity to be the first on the floor. In your programs, you had Mr. Mahmoud Badawi, but we found an even better speaker to replace him because he's been called away. And I would like to call Ms. Mary Matthias. Mary Matthias is IT Design and Architecture Lead, Ministry of Communications, Information Technology. Mary, your country has a tremendous record in digital transformation. Would you be so kind as to share Egypt's notable digital transformation journey? I understand that you have a video first. Is that correct? Could we have the video to set the stage for Mary, please?
Every citizen is exposed to different life events, such as birth, marriage, travel, work, and others. Thus, citizen faces a magnitude of challenges, such as time, effort, cost, and multiple physical trips to governmental offices. Imagine if all these transactions consolidated in one digital platform or channel as in one-stop shop, where all governmental services provided by different governmental agencies are availed to the citizen click of a button. Accordingly, the citizen's life will be simpler and more comfortable with every life event. In 2022, the government of Egypt, led by the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, the MCIT, introduced the Digital Egypt platform, a beacon of efficiency, offering over 170 government digital services, with more than 8 million registered citizens on the platform, with over than 45 million annual transactions. Prior to 2022, the traditional notarization process in Egypt was manual, inefficient paper-based workflows, time-consuming, with a decentralized system for document management and verification. This leads to delays, increased costs, and inconvenience for citizens and businesses, and hard to track the life cycle of notarized documents. The Digital Egypt platform, supported by GovStack initiatives and its building blocks, has successfully transformed the notarization service, resulting in enhanced efficiency, improved service delivery, increased citizen satisfaction, enhanced security, more streamlined and effective transparent government system, and reduced overall processing time and cost. First, the citizen accesses Digital Egypt platform. The citizen log in using the login credentials. This triggers the GovStack ID building block to verify citizens' login credentials and return the access token. Throughout this use case, the following building block are activated along the entire digital journey of the citizen, while managing the citizen's service request. The security building block maintains secure sessions by continuously encrypting and protecting all activities. Working in tandem with the information mediator, the security build block facilitates seamless communication between different government systems. The workflow building block manages the sequence of activities between the citizen service request and the civil servant request processing. The citizen navigates to the Services tab and explore a wide range of governmental services catalog. In this use case, the citizen initiated the power of attorney service. The citizen is prompted by acknowledgement of consent, terms, and conditions of the selected service. The requested consent agreement is generated by the consent building block. The consent agreement is returned to the citizen for review. The citizen reads the consent agreement. After approving the consent agreement, the digital signature process is initiated. The workflow build block sends the consent agreement to the e-signature building block. The e-signature building block issues a digital certificate. The workflow building block encloses it to the consent agreement to proceed with the requested service. This is where things get personal. The citizen first enters his information as the principal, the person giving the power of attorney. Next, the citizen provides the information for the agent, the person authorizing to act on his behalf. Finally, a summary of the power of attorney document is being displayed for the citizen to review or amend. The workflow building block issues a service request to the notarization service backend. The citizen chooses the convenient notarization office. The scheduling building block checks the availabilities and allows the citizen to choose the appointment date and time. The service fees are calculated at the notarization service backend. The service fees are displayed to the citizen for review and approval. Citizens accept the service fees and selects the preferred payment method. By accepting the payment, the citizen payment information is sent to the payment building block for processing. The workflow building block sends a payment confirmation to the citizen. As a final step, the citizen receives a confirmation message on screen and via SMS.
Thank you. Please, go ahead.
The journey was very special and inspired, starting with people have no experience with digital channel, and now almost all notarization offices are completely digital, receiving people, even the people who cannot access the digital channel have some kind of support to enable them to access the channel. For digital identity, we have a special improvement to handle different personas using it, accessing the channel. We have different persona, people, the person who can access him by his own digital identity, and we have another persona for agent who can act on behalf of the citizen handling or requesting the service. We have also a special we also have a special link between a few other components like digital signature with digital identity for the level of authorization for some services. It's also linked with eligibility component for the service. If we speak specifically on the notarization service utilize almost 8 of the common components: DI, consent, information mediator, scheduler, workflow, digital registries, in some cases digital signature, but for some cases the person who have to go to the office himself to assure the personnel. In some services, it's linked also with shipping services, payment.
Mary, thank you very much for sharing your journey with us, and really impressive progress made by Egypt. And thank you so much for also showing how the building blocks actually work together and the workflow process is designed. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. Maybe we might come back to this later on the panel. Now, for next, digital transformation journey in DPI, we would like to hand over to the country of Somalia. Dear Mr. Mohamed Shafi, you are the Director of E-Government Department at the Ministry of Communications and Technology. Great to have you on this panel. Also, Somalia has made significant progress in digital transformation journey so far in the past years. We as the GovStack Initiative are a proud partner in this collaboration, and we're impressed by the dedication that you give into this topic. Thank you very much for being here, and thanks for sharing your journey with us. Would you like to play?
Hello, good afternoon. So I would like to give you an overview of the digitalization of Somalia. We started the e-government department in a short time. Almost the digital office of the Somalia is working almost eight months. No, it's working almost 2 to 3 years now. So we are mostly focusing on developing policies, laws, and now we are working on 2 initiatives. The main program we are now working is to digitalize the high school certificate, which will be the first service to be fully digitalized by utilizing GovStack approach. And the other thing we are now working is to unify the government websites. At the moment, the government websites are different. Every institution has a different design, uses different CMS. So we are now trying to have one CMS and to unify all government websites. And then when we digitalize high school certificate, we would like to move on to try next, maybe some, we have priorities that almost 50 services. Maybe next year, we would like to have a portal we would like to have a portal which you can find almost 50 services fully digitalized. Thank you.
Thank you, Shafi. I think what is being demonstrated here is the ease with which digital public infrastructure and the mechanism or the framework that is used to build services for this infrastructure has been used. I'm now pleased to introduce my compatriot from our beautiful country of Rwanda, Sharon Umunyana. I'm thinking of doing a quiz about the pronunciation of her name after we finish. Sharon is a technical project manager overseeing Rwanda's digital public infrastructure at the Rwanda Information Society Authority, RISA. Please welcome Sharon and thank her for mitigating our gender balance today. Sharon, Rwanda is now considered a shining example of digital transformation and delivering government services to the citizens broadly. We are very anxious to know how Rwanda, as a GovStack partner country, is implementing its DPI aspirations. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you for the pronunciation exercise. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Rwanda's transformation agenda has been quite an interesting journey. I will take you through the genesis, how we started. Rwanda had a 20-year ICT policy and strategy that was set in 2001, going to where we are today of the 2025 vision of becoming a digital economy, which we are at high percentages of completing at the moment. So Rwanda's vision is mainly to become, from creating an enabling environment in 2001 to 2005, and that to us meant setting up institutions that would bring this vision to life, including the Ministry of ICT and RISA that I am representing. Then we went on to setting up infrastructures that would allow us to accommodate all these other use cases and technologies that were coming in. We later on moved on to the vision of having sector development, to then the vision 2020 of positioning Rwanda as a knowledge-based economy. After achieving that, we're at a goal of saying, how do we transform Rwanda into a digital economy, which to us means using innovation and technology to drive the economy of the country. And of course, that translates into leveraging existing infrastructures to be able to respond to a number of requests and questions that we had to answer in terms of technology. And with that, a number of infrastructures, public infrastructures have been put in place. We have a platform called Irembo, which is a public platform that people can access government services, fully digitized, end to end. We also have a national digital payment system, which is now being developed, leveraging open source platform, Loop, and the goal is to make sure that there is interoperability for all payments. We also have, electronic billing and a number of other digital infrastructures. But for the sake of this conversation, I'll give a case in point for the content management environment that we developed leveraging GovStack as an open source platform. As I mentioned, Rwanda was rapidly developing. We had a big demand to create interoperable digital services because we realized that with the goal of becoming a digital economy, most of the public institutions had varying CMS versions, had created their own environment that had different configuration, and that brought about a number of issues. One being security, exposing us to a number of cybersecurity threats, also high maintenance, and also inability to coordinate all the information that was on this platform, which in this case, we could look at a user, number one being a government representative, let's say a director at a ministry who has an issue of manual processes or fragmented data all around, to an entrepreneur who is looking at accessing information on how to apply for licenses for the business online. They're facing complex procedures. You also have a data analyst at a government department who is not able to manage all these cyber incidents because of the fragmentation of these systems. We could also look at a local government person who is not also able to, who is always troubleshooting, and then you go to a young citizen who is trying to access education information, apply for scholarships and all that, but they don't have an interoperable way of accessing all this information. So that's where we got in, leveraging GovStack to have a centralized way of maintaining these systems and have systems that are scalable, but are also open to digital public infrastructure standards and are interoperable, and of course are secure, but not forgetting that it's important that their user experience is accessible and user-friendly. Then, so right now, where we are, we do have an open and secure CMS, which has multilingual, it can accommodate about 5 languages now, with the support of a predefined design of the templates, and we have consolidated over 200 websites into one single environment. We have equally automated and deployed all these on GovStack, and security is not an issue anymore, and we've seen a very reduced number of costs in terms of hosting and development of these CMSs. So I just wanted to show you how this looks like for us. I can't be talking about technology and unable to use this. Yes, so this is how it looks like. For all the government websites have the same user interface, have the same accessibility, so it's easy to navigate from one website to the other, and we use the same, we do use the same URL to make it easy for everyone to be able to access all these government services. So this is just one example for the Government of Rwanda website. I could also show you a number of other websites, but all in all of these have a similar look and user experience. So what we're looking at going forward is, number one, to continuously improve the CMS, making sure that we are incorporating feedback we're getting from users to make the user interface and the features of the webmaster better. We're looking at expansion to be able to add more building blocks, adding more government websites and platforms. And we're looking at further integration with digital services, e-government services, citizen portals, and other workflow building blocks. And most interestingly, we're looking at partnerships. I was waiting for a Somalia representative to give us a shout out, but yeah, Somalia did take lessons from Rwanda on how the CMS platform was implemented, and we thought that is a great way to collaborate to make sure that other countries are not starting from scratch, but we are partnering to learn from each other to make sure that these infrastructures are easily deployed and accessible to every African citizen. So yeah, I think that's where we are. Happy to take any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I don't want to go on before saying I was a recent beneficiary of that system, having been appointed to one of the boards of directors of a bank. They said, you need to give us your criminal record. You need to show your credit rating. I did that in very few minutes because I went to Irembo, got or proved that I wasn't a criminal, and got my credit rating. So there you go. Over to you.
Thank you very much, and also congratulations. I think, thank you, Sharon. You gave us so many good reasons why we're actually organizing this panel, right? So it is sharing experiences, but also learning from each other and then making good connections. And it's also a very good example for Rwanda that we see that countries that are very far in the digital transformation journey can still benefit from also the offerings that are there with the building blocks and the offering set that's provided by GovStack. We will learn a bit more about that a bit later from Hani Eskander from ITU, our program lead from ITU side. So, and next, our next country, we are now going over to Kazakhstan. Please welcome Mr. Dimitri Mun, Deputy Chair of National Information Technologies in Kazakhstan. Mr. Mun, Kazakhstan has been a shining example of how GovStack framework can be used as a pillar in implementing DPI. We are privileged to have you as a regional champion of DPI here on our panel today, and please take us on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, the timer is too early for me to start. Can you please repeat? Thank you. Good day, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to organizers for such an event. My name is Dmitry Mun, and our company is the national operator of e-government of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is the 9th largest country in the world, and like many other nations, we face challenges in providing equal access to government public services. We have strengthened our infrastructure to address this, simplifying access to services through digital ID, data exchange, and digital payments. Today, I will share Kazakhstan experience in this area. This year, we have moved to 24th place in the Government Development Index among 193 countries. Kazakhstan has over 20 years of experience developing e-government, having appointed a single operator for e-government 2 decades ago. This slide shows our e-government architecture based on our solution without vendors. Over 400 state databases are operating at the foundation. We built an integration gateway to ensure services can easily access to necessary data. Above this are portals for delivering public services, which we have democratized by allowing banks and other institutions to provide these services. Next, we move toward proactive public services by identifying key life situation and creating a data lake. After that, we had AI platform. Additionally, we have successfully exported our digital solutions to countries like Togo, Sierra Leone, and Tajikistan this year. I want to present our most innovative product of data exchange. Many countries struggle with data access and exchange due to slow processes between state bodies. Our solution, Smart Data Ocumet, is a governmental data lake that collects and anonymizes data from 106 state databases daily. It enables fast cross-department analytics using open-source tools, is globally recognized for its innovation. One example is the digital family card system built on this platform. So how does it work? If I want to see how many families with different problems in Kazakhstan, for example, I can type family without housing, average per capita income below 70%, multi-child families, and overdue loans. We can see 46,000 Kazakhstani families who have all of these parameters together today. Then below we see a heat map of those families, allowing us to identify which district they are located in and list all of these families. We add also information about appeals, allowing us to see what problems those families face with difficult situation in every district. This product is a flagship achievement designed to assess the well-being of families across Kazakhstan. According to Alkar Foster Poverty Method and UNDP guidelines, we collect 100 parameters such as income, property, education, loan debts, healthcare, education, etc. We generate an online well-being score for every family in Kazakhstan every day. As you can see on the slide, families are categorized from levels A to E, where A represents financially secure families and E indicates those is in emergency situation. This tool allows us to identify needy families, create automatic support plans without applications, and send daily targeted suggestions via the digital family card with relevant government services. This initiative has helped deliver 3.7 million proactive government services over the past 2 years. Here is an example of how eGov Mobile helps a new mother. Digital family cards send a push notification with congratulations and a link to an automated proactive services. She logs in with the Face ID and enters her child's name and surname, and the government payment for childbirth is automatically processed into her account. Within 3 days, she gets a digital birth certificate in eGov Mobile application. In Kazakhstan, 60% of women no longer need to visit government offices. They receive important updates online instead and use it. Overall, with our eGov Mobile app, through proactive services, simplified access, and payment assistance, we have achieved 4.6 million monthly active users, represented 80% of the economically active population, with over 800 automated state services in eGov Mobile application. The second product for data exchange is the Smart Bridge. Smart Bridge is a marketplace for government data that enables the creation of new public services in banks' mobile applications, requiring citizens' permissions each time they receive a service. By doing so, we attract investments to develop new public services without spending money on that. The total number of transactions has reached 1 billion in half a year. Notably, we have increased our integration from 400 to 1,300 last year, reflecting significant growth and advancement. One successful outcome of this marketplace is the creation of online car sales services in 5 minutes. Let me explain how the app works. If I want to sell my car, I simply indicate the vehicle and the potential buyer will receive a notification about the price. We negotiate it within the app, and then we conduct a check on fines and the registration process. Currently, over 65% of all car sales in Kazakhstan occur through this mobile app of Kaspi Bank. Similarly, for mortgages, what used to take a month can now be completed in just 24 hours in Freedom Bank's super app. And the last one, the AI platform, is in discussing data exchange. We are developing a unique AI platform that provides access to depersonalized data sets and constructor for creating chatbots based on open source LLM models. Collaborating with the market, we have generated over 7 MVPs, including a 24/7 assistant that helps citizens with simple queries related to their life situations. I'm glad to see everyone here and to share our experience. We offer 3 products we have developed for free expert. You can download the information via QR code. Feel free to contact us regarding our GovTech solutions. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we are starting to get excited now about DPI. Now, I have the pleasure to introduce my former colleague at ITU and a fellow founding partner of the GovStack initiative, together with Germany, GIZ, Estonia, Dyer. When Hani Iskander, who is now many things at ITU, but I will just mention that he's head of this program of GovStack at ITU. When he first came to Addis Ababa, where I was based, and said he wanted us to introduce GovStack to Africa, I was very, very excited because I knew how our governments were struggling. Hani, a lot has been said about GovStack. We've seen some examples, but where you sit, you have a bird's eye view of what is going on and where GovStack might be going. So how do you see GovStack helping countries to accelerate their implementation of digital public infrastructure?
Okay, thank you very much, Andrew. And just imagine you are responsible of digital transformation in your country, and you came to this wonderful conference and you heard about DPI and you saw mind-blowing examples from Rwanda, Kazakhstan, with your digital ID, your digital wallet, indicators, everything. I'm sure you will be excited that you would like to see this in your country. Now you go back to your country and you're gonna start to ask difficult questions. What should I do now? Where to start? It's a journey of many years. It's a multi-thing, multi-partners, multi-million type of initiative. What is the roadmap? Where to start? And who can help me, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a lot of questions, actually. And you need to work on a number of what you can call initiator or starter frameworks. You need to work on your interoperability framework, on your architecture framework, on your digital service standard. There are already projects ongoing, already funded by a number of agencies. So what are you going to do? You are excited. You bought into the DPI, finish. We would like to do it, but what should I do now? I think this is where the GovStack can really help you. The GovStack can provide you, GovStack, by the way, is not a project that you implement in your country. GovStack is a framework that can help you frame and synergize and make sure that all your digital investments, when it comes to government, are done based on best practices. The first thing that you need to do is, I would like to deploy DPI, but also leverage. What you have seen here are tens of years of experiences, and those are a lot of knowledge. Each building block is a world on its own. Digital identity is a world on its own, and it's, by the way, it's very difficult even to find good digital ID experts. It's the same for payments, same for all the other things. So it seems to be like a mountain to climb, right? What we have done in GovStack is try to make this much more accessible to you. What we have done is that we have formulated a number of what you can call starter frameworks for DPI. How you create your interoperability framework, what kind of open APIs you can use. How can you have specification, model specification that can help you build your RFP? How can you have a reference architecture that helps to glue all those DPI? How to build your roadmap, how to create your digital service standards. All those kind of resources we have developed based on compiling years of experience through more than 100 experts that came together to put this for you for free. So the GovStack is not something, if you have, for example, in your country, a project by the World Bank, another one by UNDP, another one by ITU, another one by GIZ, all those projects, GovStack can help you because your role as a government is to make sure that all those investments are following best practices and they are going to fit with a target architecture that they can interoperate between themselves. So your role as a government is to set the scene and coordinate the investments and make sure that those investments are based on best practices. The GovStack specification, for example, encapsulate already many of the safeguards principles that has been presented in the previous session. When you read the safeguards, safeguards principles and measures, the first question you're going to ask, how should I implement them? Many of them are already embedded in the specification. So the GovStack can really provide you with this kind of initiation frameworks. And at GovStack, we provide different levels of services, packages for countries. One of them is what we call initiation phase, which is a mix of training and implementation. So you're going to learn about the framework, but also implement them for the first digital services. So basically, you build your first digital services using the GovStack approach, and this is what we are trying to do with Somalia and many others. But also in parallel, you build a roadmap for how can I put those building blocks in place in a way that can build my DPI in steps. So in summary, the DPI, the GovStack is just those types of resources that are relevant for all the digital investment that you are investing in your countries. And of course, we'll be very happy to provide more. There is the booth in the exhibition area where you will find all related information. Thank you.
Thank you. So there is your call to action. If you haven't started, you need to start.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Hani. So I think, as we have also been asked by the organizers, as you're quite behind the schedule, as you might have realized, not us, but the other panelists as well. So I would like to ask all the panelists for a very short statement at the end of this panel. And imagine the wonderful, perfect DPI implementation in a country being a wonderful dish that you would eat. So what do you think we as GovStack, we try to contribute a lot of important ingredients to countries in order to speed the process up and to give good guidance on the way, and we learn by countries implementing it and feeding it back into the GovStack initiative. What would you think, from your perspective, what is the most important ingredient from your perspective in your implementation in DPI in your country? Can we start with you, Sharon?
Am I supposed to describe this as food? Because I'll be very happy to. So for us as Rwanda, we're relying heavily on digital technology to achieve the major goals we have as a country for our economy. So for me, I would say you've given us our protein. You've given us our protein to boost our muscles, to be able to start from there, have the energy to say, okay, what more do we add on? What more is building blocks to be able to build on what we've already done with GovStack, and build on top of that and be able to address the challenges that the citizens are facing in terms of accessing services specifically. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. It's a wonderful picture in my head already. Mr. Moon, what would you think?
I'm so sorry. Can you please repeat again?
So what do you think? Imagine it a dish, like a perfect dish that you would eat. So what do you think, also having this picture in mind, what's the, from your perspective, the most important ingredient for implementing DPI?
I don't know. Can I give answer later? I will think about it.
Sure, of course. Mary, do you have an idea? What do you think from the Egyptian perspective? What's the most important ingredient for a DPI?
People and their engagement, and how the service impacted their life, and not only people from the citizen, but also the social servants and employees, how they handle the new technology and interact with it, and how it's impacted the level of their own performance and the service quality.
Like that a lot. Thank you so much. Mr. Shafi, what would you say? What's the most important ingredient to DPI?
Thank you so much. Before I answer your question, I had a presentation. I forgot, so if you give me 2 minutes, then I can cover the presentation. Can I do? Just 2 minutes to cover the presentation. I had a presentation. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, let's go back. Sorry.
So this is how we are all wonderfully reminded to all your wonderful digital transformation journeys. Thank you.
Sorry, I had a presentation. I will not take much time. It will be quick. So as I told you before, we are working on digitalizing of high school certificates and content management system, which is type 3, to uniform the government websites. So,
What?
Can you change?
You want to move?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll click.
Digitalization of high school certificates. Now, the students cannot find the certificate in digital, so they are facing many difficulties. So there are many challenges that they face. For example, prone to forgery, higher administrative costs, difficult in cross-border. Students who live outside the city cannot find the certificate. They have to travel to the capital city. They have to stay there. They have to order their certificate. So with the digitalization, when we digitalize the high school certificate, there will be no forgery, no low cost, and also we don't have to wait, and you don't have to travel to all the way to the city and then to wait your certificate. The advantages of GovStack approach are coordination, return to investment, and scaling. So that's why we are using the GovStack approach. There are some, we have identified the users. For example, students who live in a city, for example, a city in Baladweyne, which is about 300 kilometers to Mogadishu. If that student want to get his certificate, he has to travel to Mogadishu, which is difficult. With this system, students do not to travel to Mogadishu and order the certificate. So next, there is this is some design, the development of high school certificate. The system is in place now, it's working, but it's not online. It's now hosted locally. I cannot show you now, but it's almost finished, and we are trying to launch maybe next month. Next. Advantages are verification of real document, low administrative cost, easy access, increased transparency, time saving. Every year, a lot of students go to abroad to study. So the main problem they are facing is the verification of their documents. So when we digitalize the high school certificate, the verification will be very easier. Next step is to implement pilot implementation, maybe some 5 to low number of schools to provide a digital certificate, then we will implement in the whole country. Next. This is the standardization of government website by using Type 3. We have the first website designed by Type 3 in place now. It's online. Thanks to Rwanda. We have been to Rwanda many times, so that's it. Go to last slide. This is the website, the first website designed by Type 3. It's available in 2 languages now, English and Somali. We are trying to add Arabic. So the website is live now. You can access it online. And next, we would like to have all the ministries, 25 ministries, to be unified and to use Type 3 as a CMS. Thank you so much. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shafi. I think this is wonderful to see this inter-country collaboration in combination with GovStack. This is really wonderful demonstrations, and thank you so much for sharing your journeys and your achievements with all of us. Thank you very much. I think we have to wrap it up soon, so I think we would like to thank all of you very much for sharing your experiences with us on this panel. We hope that we could demonstrate that GovStack is a true community effort. It constantly improves by country practitioners like you and experts contributing to it, like you on this panel and many others around the globe already, and we hope to increase the number.
Well, mine is to thank all the panelists for your contribution, for sharing with us your journeys. But Andrea didn't ask me what I thought the most important ingredient was. I think the most important ingredient is courage. Courage to start. Courage to be a GovStack partner country. Courage to accept the collaboration that this team, the GovStack team, is offering. That is how you are going to accelerate the implementation of provision of services to your citizens. I thank you, panelists. And we thank the audience as well.
So, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you very much, dear panelists. Thank you very much, dear audience, for listening to us within the last hour and learning about the journeys in the countries. I would like to close with a shout out to all of you because we have a special offering from the GovStack initiative. So we would like to invite all of you to visit us at our booth, so can't be overseen in the exhibition area. And we're actually offering to test us and to test prototyping with the GovStack approach. So if you have a use case for your country in mind and you would like to see GovStack building blocks in action, then our new CTO, Christopher, our tech lead from GIZ, Nico Lück, Thomas Wiemann from Rwanda, we have a lot of experts on site to test this with you, and you're all invited to come over. Thank you very much for your attention and wishing you a wonderful journey ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you.